Hey everybody, Todd Dills here, your host for this edition of Overdrive Radio, dropping into our awards ceremony at the National Association of Small Trucking Companies annual conference, October 23rd, with our 4 small fleet champs, the owners of Clifford Hay Inc, Thomasville Funiture Xpress, Turnage Sons LLC, and Oberman Logistics, all on hand for the event with me in Nashville, Tennessee. Before the dinnertime program got started that Thursday evening, where I announced Thomasville Funiture Xpress and Oberman Logistics as the small fleet champ title belt winners, I had the chance to sit down with all of the owners. In the case of Thomasville Funiture Xpress, that'd be 2 men, as you'll hear, sharing the Scott name. All 5 of these champs are doing a whole lot right, that's certain, and similarly in many respects, though their operations couldn't be more different. Turnage Sons operates all company equipment, hauling milk in big tankers. Thomasville Funiture Xpress runs less than truckload, furniture. Oberman Logistics is all owner-operator, mostly platform freight run through brokerage partners, and Clifford Hay up in New York has 6 owned trucks and couldn't be more diverse in terms of trailers owned and utilized for a wide variety of freight, most from direct customers. Here's the men speaking in the order in which you'll hear them. The talk aimed at sharing ideas with some examples of biggest business challenges overcome and advice for that next generation of small fleet owner-operators among you.
I'm Clifford Hay from upstate New York, Cobblestone, New York.
I'm Scott Denmark.
I'm Scott Cruthis, Thomasville Funiture Xpress.
Robbie Turnage, Tylertown, Mississippi.
Les Oberman, Huntington, Tennessee.
Along the way in today's podcast, you'll hear my introductions from the stage of each business. Towing horror stories, plenty about preparing to make any big move from one truck to many. There's also an anecdote about a 579 that gets misstated as a Peterbilt 359. Plenty of laughter, surprise, and more amongst the owners assembled, that's certain. There's plenty to glean from the long careers of all of these men. Big congrats to all 4, and a personal note of thanks to them for joining me and event sponsor Nastic in the effort. We'll dive in from the stage after a quick break.
Ask any driver. Wind or diesel problems don't happen all at once. That's why Howe's Products offers total performance and protection. Diesel Defender cleans and prepares your system so you start off the season strong. Before cold hits, dose up with Diesel Treat to keep fuel flowing all winter long by preventing gelling in even the harshest temps. And if you do ever get stuck, Howe's Diesel Lifeline is your rescue, reliquefying gelled fuel fast. With Howe's, you don't just face winter, you beat it. Visit HOWES, HowesProducts.com for more. Okay, to get started, here's yours truly from the Nastic stage Thursday, October 23rd, introducing the first speaker you'll hear as part of this small fleet brain trust roundtable talk, though, as Scott Denmark was quick to point out, it was more of a rectangle we happened to be sitting around. Here we go.
In the north corner, all the way up from up north in Cobblestone, New York, Clifford and Ann Hay made the trip to Nashville representing the 6-truck fleet that bears Clifford II in his father's name, Clifford Hay Incorporated. Come on up to the stage, you guys. Clifford Hay certainly brought a compelling story to us. Sharing the history of the business. It's one of a big rebuild of the small fleet. After a fire more than a decade ago, took basically all the powered equipment and the garage. He's got no quit in him though, that's sure, spurred along by needs of direct customers and for a real diversity of freight now hauled with a big stable of 30 trailers. Lumber, dry van freight, indeed hay too, seasonal. Clifford Hay grew up in and around the trucking business with his father launching Clifford Hay Incorporated in 1972. He got his commercial license in 1985 and has been trucking steadily ever since. He bought the family business from his dad in 1999 as a one-truck, one-trailer outfit. By 2010, he did 4 trucks, humming right along when that garage fire took most everything. He learned a few lessons there about being underinsured, that's sure, but he didn't let the setback define him. He credits his wife, Ann, and his daughter, too, for support, encouraging him to rebuild the shop and get the business moving again. He told us, they just kept pushing me like, that's not you to quit. We know who you are. Who is Clifford Hay? One of his many direct customers considers considers him not only clearly a fighter befitting of a heavyweight trucking championship, but an integral part of that customer's own operation. A member of the team he couldn't imagine not being available. He lauded the tip-top equipment that Overdrive's also previously recognized with honors in our Pride and Polish truck show. Said that customer, quote, "I cannot imagine a more professional outfit. His trucks and equipment all look like showpieces, immaculate at all times. I don't know how he does it." Clifford Hay Incorporated, everyone.
Clifford Hay from upstate New York, Thomasville, New York. One of my challenges, I feel, would be tires.
Okay.
And tire expense, having road service come out. So we've tried to eliminate that. We do most of our own tire service, our own mounting, balancing. We use Centromatic balancers on everything. I keep spares all mounted if I got to go out on the road and do the service call myself instead of paying somebody to do it. That's what I've tried to eliminate. And I run winter tires and I run summer tires.
Okay, so have you made these investments to be able to do this work recently?
Over the past few years, yes.
Past few years?
Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
I mean, what kinds of investments do you put in to be able to do all that?
Oh, different kind of jacks. Like I use all gray jacks items. I've used the golden bar for demounting the wheels and tires,
right.
And just try to make life easier as I get older.
Right. Any estimates on, I don't know, what it's saved you since you started doing this?
Thousands.
Really?
I mean, one road call one time was $1,800.
Sure.
So, one road call.
Right.
So,
in the wrong business when you get that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And I feel, running where we live, winter tires and summer tires, you get more use out of your winter tires.
Yeah,
you can have a longer longevity of them before you're out of them.
Right. Thomas used to do that all the time.
Winter tires, I run all Michelin XDN2s, and then summer tires, I run Steers.
Yeah, right. Scott and Scott. Would you introduce yourself, Mr. Denmark?
I'm Scott Denmark.
I'm Scott Cruthis, Thomasville Funiture Xpress.
I don't know. I ran companies so long before we started our own. It's like no surprising issues. It's all stuff we budgeted for, knew going in. There's things that suck, like this year, insurance this year, just because North Carolina, I don't know if it works this way everywhere. North Carolina directs how much they can charge.
Sure, right.
So, right,
They
it's the
changed
max.
their schedule, yeah.
Oh,
Sure,
they allowed the carriers to up the liability for trucking 35% this year.
Wow.
Our overall went up 27% this year.
And that's
I mean, we're making money. We do good. We're tight with our money. We're very small. There's us two, and there's three girls in the office, and we do LTL trucks, which is 20, 30, 40 shipments per load. So it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of dock workers, and so we keep our overhead low. It's just like you get that, it's a little kick in the teeth because in today's economy, you can't start raising rates on people. They're like, "No, I don't think so." So you look and go, "There's $100,000. You're just gonna suck it up, Buttercup." Like whatever happens. We've done good. We've had 4 great years. We just started with it. If it all goes south tomorrow, well, I hate that happening. I just refuse to stress over it, man. I'm just too old to.
Scott, I remember you saying to me though that you've been getting like surprisingly good renewals up before. I mean, you said this has happened since we talked. I think
everything came down. Except for the liability went up. So our overall went up 26 point something percent overall. Yeah. But everything's come down because our record is so good. But, it's not that they're not making money. It's that North Carolina Insurance Commission says, well, you're right. You guys are way less than other states. So we're going to go ahead and give you the ability up to 35%. We're like, And they're making money. If they weren't making money, they wouldn't sell insurance in North Carolina. The people we got with now won't sell in New Jersey, won't sell in New York.
Right.
So they would just not sell in North Carolina if they weren't making money. So whatever.
There's not many insurance companies that'll insure you in New York.
Yeah. Fraud and shysters, and we've been blessed. We've been totally blessed with great people. I got an office manager that will call me 3 or 4 times while we're both here because we're on hands. We're it. I mean, he takes care of the maintenance and some other stuff, and I take care of the operations. I post all the checks, which is when you're doing LTL, it's a lot of checks. Yeah. We have up to at any time 1,500 open customers. Yes, tons of customers. So And she takes care of things while we're here because my wife actually works for us too, and she's here. So we're down to just the office manager and my daughter in the office. So they'll do good. They'll do fine. They got a guy on the dock that runs that end of it for us. But I'll be on my computer later on today. I'm on the road yet, so I'll get back out.
And in the other corner, out of the great furniture capital of the world, state of North Carolina, in Thomasville, near Greensboro, is the near 30 truck fleet of Thomasville Funiture Xpress, or TFX, helmed by a pair of owners who happen to share first names, Scott Denmark and Scott Cruthis, joined on the stage by their better halves, Jana Denmark and Billy Joe Cruthis. Come on. With TFX, launched just several years ago now, both men bring to bear long experience in the challenging niche of LTL furniture delivery. On the operations side for Denmark and maintenance side of the house for Cruthis, respectively. After meeting early on in their career when they were both owner-operators and truck drivers, the pair joined to launch TFX after work together at a furniture hall fleet that was sold out to a bigger business. Since their startup, growth has been quick, manageable, with an acquisition and continued reinvestments of profits and new equipment, now to 17 to 20 owned trucks, I think, and 8 owner-operators leased on, very little debt to speak of, and a close focus on efficiency in building and delivering those complicated LTL loads. In our story about TFX, Scott Denmark detailed a piece of custom software built for the company that makes the operations process for him relatively a piece of cake, saving time and money that might necessarily be spent on additional staff. It's such that among the real hustlers among company operators, the best are topping 3,000 miles any given week, even with close to 30 stops for delivery over the run of those miles. A TFX customer in New Jersey praised the fleet's reliability, from the equipment, the drivers, the basic accessibility of both fleet owners, essentially 24/7. And a longtime associate who had just so happened sold then one truck owner-operator Scott Denmark his first set of tires, that associate called him just one of those guys. You probably know the guy. He went on, I could call Scott any day, 7 days a week, and say, hey, I need you. And it'd be, what do you need? Let's go. I can't think of a better person in my 44 years of career that I've enjoyed. I knew when he opened TFX that he'd be successful. Thomasville Funiture Xpress, everyone.
Like you was talking about road service calls. I mean, we had one in Texas that was a disaster. The time we got through with that truck, we spent more money on it than the truck was worth. But it's in Texas, broke down with a load under. It's the way you're going to do, you know.
Oh, and I literally told him afterwards, I said, you should tell him to keep that truck. So if I'd known that's what it was a $1 million mile Peterbilt. 379, no, 359. 359. It was worth, no, 357. Not 359.
It's 579.
579. Yeah, 359. 359 the one with the dash.
His 359 so did mine. I was like, oh, you're going to get rid of that.
Yeah, I didn't spend that much money. It was a 579.
I was going to say, if you're going to get rid of that truck that cheap, let me know.
That cheap.
That 359.
That cheap.
I'll take my fifth wheel toter right on over.
We got one of those too.
We got one of those too. I went to Florida. We had a truck. It shut off going down the road, and I told the guy it sounds like a fuel pump. As a Cummins dealer, 15 miles down the road. I had it towed to a Cummins dealer. It sat there for 6 weeks. They can't fix the truck. I said, guy, it's the fuel pump. Well, we've checked this and we've checked that. They said, it needs 6 new injectors. I said, all injectors didn't go out at the same time. I said, how about this? They said they flew an engineer down there to look at this truck and fix it out. I said, can you pull it out of your shop? And he said, yeah. I said, are they a fence? He said, no. I said, then pull it out of the shop, tell me what I owe you, and I'll be down there to get it in the morning. They pulled it out of the shop. I went and got it that night, brought it back to our shop. In 45 minutes, the guy that works in our shop, ain't never been to diesel mechanic school, had a truck run, is the high-pressure fuel pump. The cylinder was froze up in it, and he put it on, and it was running. It stayed at Cummins for 6 weeks.
And to make it worse,
and I still spent $5,500 on it. And I'm like,
Cummins.
I know it's going to, I was going to pay more taking it to Cummins, but they'll fix it, you know, whatever. And I said, just back it out of the shop.
That's where that.
And I got in there truck with our fifth wheel toter on it, and I went down
Our
and got
4
the
million
truck.
mile Kenworth.
Yeah, it's a Kenworth that I bought new in '99. It's got 4 million miles on it.
That's all 650 for it.
Yeah. Oh, if it wasn't for them fifth wheel toters, I'm telling you,
that thing's made for us. Well, 10,000.
We've had ours probably 20 years now. Done rebuilt it twice. And then we went to Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, getting trucks. Like, it's this. It's like, hey, turn on your emergency flash and put your triangles there. I'll be there in about 14 hours.
Yep.
I'm going to get it.
Hailing from Tylertown, Mississippi, the 29 truck fleet of Robbie and Lori Turnage, likewise their son Levi. Unfortunately, Levi is not with them today. He couldn't make it. I was prepared for him to be here. But anyway, it's Turnage Sons, LLC. Welcome Robbie and Lori Turnage to the stage. So Levi's not here, but Robbie and Levi represent the fourth and fifth generations of the Turnage family who've made their livelihood hauling milk out of and into the region around their hometown. And the story of Robbie's growth of Turnage Sons to where it is today, with a close-knit, all-company driver team and family-focused operations staff, has a little bit of that sort of right place, right time aspect to it, and plenty of evidence of the foresight to recognize that and dive in for the opportunity. Robbie committed early on with the dairymen in his area to serve the organic milk production niche, which has only grown in a couple of decades he's been in business himself. He grew the company well above 30 trucks at one point, but in some ways he settled back into that sweet spot at 29 today with a clear focus on laying groundwork for that next generation coming up behind him. Represented by his son's close involvement in the business today and in the shop for many years now, though he's a grand old age of 19 or is he 20 now? He's still 19. Okay, 19. Anyway, one among those dairymen that are Turnage Sons customers emphasized the 24/7 nature of the business and the company's dedication to that service. Yet, he also told the story of a hurricane hitting the Lake Charles area, Louisiana. He and Robbie Turnage put some money together to buy a water pump and haul water into the impacted area so that people trapped in their homes would have water to flush toilets and wash their hands. He didn't want a nickel for any of that work, he said at Turnage. I think that speaks to where he's at, not just as a small business owner, but a human being. Turnage Sons, everyone.
I had one wrecked on 81. Just rebuilt the motor, and it's an 05. We built it. That's the one my son goes to the truck shows and all. It took about 4 years to build it. But I went to Pennsylvania, and the dude come up there and told me he had to use a rotator, charged me $14,000 for a record bill to pull it 4 miles. He had a 70-something model Mack with the old Dayton wheels on it. Instead of dragging it backwards, he drug it down the guardrail like to push the sleeper off. Next morning, I was sitting there. We sat there about 5 hours. He's like, I'm going to call. I'm on this. I told him, I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut your lock. Because I told you I was going to be here. I'm going in here and get my truck, and I'll take your check to the door. Sucker pulled out his house, watched him bring his pickup around there and unlock it. He wanted to keep my truck. I said, no, it's fresh motor, fresh transmission.
$300 a day, man.
$14,000, but this sucker nailed me for a cleanup in Pennsylvania because when he pulled it backward or pulled it down the guardrail, the landing gear busted the fuel tank open. So the diesel spilled on by the guardrail. The state of Pennsylvania sent me a $28,000 bill for hazmat cleanup. They had to dig the shoulder up, replace the dirt and all that.
That's a towing story, a horror story right there.
Yeah, horror story.
Right, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
I sent the call to Pennsylvania. I sent them the deal for my record bill, and right down there it's got EPA cleanup fee, $3,200. And she goes, sir, you have a good day. She said, we'll take care of this. So his $14,000 just got shot.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's $1 million piece of equipment or $800,000. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't get to use that often. My God, man. Please. Yeah.
And they said a rotator on the job that it didn't even have a rotator on it anyway.
He didn't have a rotator.
Yeah, it was.
No, he didn't have a rotator.
No, this guy was just taking advantage of what he thought.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got a fellow, Jeff Russian. He owns Russian's Towing right there at the house. If it's within 75 miles or 100 miles of the house, I call Mr. Jeff. I had one broke down in Jackson, about 78 miles. Charged me $350. Go get it, bring it back to the house.
Bring it all back to the yard, yeah.
Yeah, and that's because he knows us. Now, if it's somebody else comes through there, now he's probably gonna stick it to you like the rest of them.
And all the ones that get you the worst, the ones that have a contract with the state.
Well,
because they say all the state calls, we got as minimum, we got to send 3 trucks, we got to do this as part of the bill. I'm like, well, I didn't call you until I called Bill the state.
My 19-year-old son, he's catching on quick. There ain't too much he can't do. I got a 26-year-old nephew that he's Johnny on the spot. Like you said, people being in the shop, man, my nephew and my son, I can walk away and come up here for the weekend. I ain't got to call them. I ain't got to worry about it. Now, if I get worried about them, I will pull up my cameras where I can see what they're doing. Like, hey, why ain't y'all got this truck in the shop? But, I'm able to step away now, and I'm 47. I'm shooting for 52 to 55, somewhere in there. I want to go back to driving a little bit more, not the day-to-day dispatching, mechanicking, maintenance.
Right, because you want to, not because you have to.
Right.
That's what I did. I got back in the truck.
I tell you, when I get to drive, it's like a vacation day for me. They're like, I've been trying to call you all day long. I said, dude, I told you I'm on vacation. Don't bother me today. And then you get to Atlanta, and then you want to call people. Like, man, an hour and 37 minutes for 13 miles. But that's my biggest deal. I just want to be able to drive, and there's a bunch of stuff I still want to see. We've been out west and east, north, but there's a bunch of stuff I haven't drove through that I want to see. And I said, man, if I can get paid to drive through it and see it at the same time, I got it made. Everything on ours is pretty much steady year round. Okay. We deal with about 33 different dairymen. The biggest deal is most of our dairymen are in their 60s and 70s, and there's about 5 of them that's got kids that want to take over it. And the rest of them, they're going to start retiring probably in the next 10 years. But we haul milk from out west, so, we steady in what we do. Yeah. And I like being between 25 to 30 trucks. And my son got the big idea he wants to climb. I said, I've done that once and tell you, we got to get more help than what we got.
Yeah, right.
So he's got big intentions, and I wish him well. I hope he does good, because I know I couldn't handle no 40 trucks.
You tried to at one point.
Yeah, I tried. I got the big idea. I'm going to go 50, and I was,
no. Wes, introduce yourself for us.
Wes Oberman, Huntington, Tennessee. Other one, Scott mentioned, because that is my biggest challenge, is insurance. One bad insurance quote could put you out of service, and you're done, Other than that, for me, would be advertising, getting our name out there.
Division, hailing from right here in the great state of Tennessee, in the town of Huntington, are Wes and Laura Oberman, owners of Oberman Logistics. But we're only going to welcome one of them to the stage, as Laura is ill. She couldn't make it down. Everybody welcome Wes Oberman. So the way we place small fleet champ entrants in the categories is by size at the end of the previous year, so that'd be 2024. When Oberman Logistics was nominated, it was sitting right at 9 trucks, but Wes and Laura have accomplished something relatively few fleets have done in 2025. They contracted with 2 additional leased owner-operators this year, bringing their total operation up to 11 trucks, including one run by Wes Oberman himself, leading by example for an all-owner-operator, mostly platform freight fleet. And a cycle, too, where spot markets have been in the dumps for years now, and many of those damn brokers you heard Dave Owen mention, and load boards are maligned for rock-bottom rates. The Obermans and their many owner-operator partners have excelled building profitable relationships with trusted middlemen. Like so many others among you, Wes launched his business with just a single truck, but with a simple-sounding idea to grow the business as a home for other owner-operators, just like him. Transparency and simplicity in the deal for owner-operators was the goal, and he's achieved that so far in spades, in part also by demonstrating real skin in the leased owner's game. One of Oberman's contracted owner-operators who's been around the block in lease arrangements over a more than 30-year career illustrated that by noting that Oberman has to be, quote, losing money on our insurance, given the inexpensive nature of a minimal weekly chargeback to leased owners there. That owner-operator went on to call Oberman Logistics, quote, the only place I've ever been that I've never had a complaint. The best thing I can say about these two, Wes and his wife, Laura, they're the most honest people in this trucking racket I've ever met. The honesty's working for profitability, for growth, for team building, despite market difficulties. Wes Oberman, Oberman Logistics.
Having people find out and wanting to come on board with us. Yeah, that's our biggest thing. I've spent so much money on advertising. And I do it all myself, Right. So it was a huge learning curve at first, and I'm sure I wasted quite a bit learning at first. I think we got it down kind of, though. But
what are you doing? You're trying to reach, and in particular, you're trying to reach owner-operators that want to lease somewhere.
Yes.
What did you do? How have you kind of refined the process for yourself? Like what venues are you using?
Well, we advertise almost everywhere except for TikTok because I'm just old and don't know really how to use it. Don't want to record videos of myself. But we use Facebook, Instagram, X, Reddit, all those.
A lot of the social media.
The main one being Facebook.
Right.
Yeah. The older generation uses Facebook more, and that's kind of who we want to attract.
Next question. We went back around the round table, or rectangle table as it were, with each owner's best piece of advice for owner-operators considering expansion of the business long-term, or truck drivers mulling trucking business ownership themselves as part of a future in trucking. To start, 6-truck fleet owner Clifford Hay offered this bit of business brass tacks.
I'd say keep your debt down.
Okay.
You don't need a big fancy truck to start out. I went 11 years before I even bought a new truck. Everything I always had was used. Right. The only reason I have new trucks now is because I don't like their dependability. The new ones are not dependable, but that's why I try to get rid of them every 5 years. But before that, I like the old trucks. You could buy a good used truck and keep going and keep your debt down.
For a new guy, if the new trucks are only reliable for when they're under warranty, you don't have to pay for the problems.
Well,
most of the used trucks they fit that category of truck as well.
Correct.
What are they going to do?
You find a real old truck.
Yeah. Well, you better learn how to work on one. I feel get an older truck that you know how to work on it, and you don't have all the emissions and stuff like that. I mean, the motors on the new ones seem reliable. It's all the emissions and the check engine.
The emissions that mess the motor.
Correct. That's
all the ancillary stuff around it.
Right.
But the new turbo on an ISX, those new X15s is what?
They're like
$8,000.
For like
$8,000 for a turbo. You buy a turbo for a 6 Series G for $850. I mean, it's like what we had was a bunch of not X15s, the X15s, ISXs.
I had one. I got 5 pack cars. I had 5 Cummins. I'm down to 2 Cummins because the other 3's got Caterpillars in them now. I retrofitted them. They're 14 models. I had one dang pack car went out, and I called Peter and said, "Hey man, I need a turbo." "Oh, okay." He told me the turbo was like $7,800. I was like, "All right, well, do you need the actuator too?" I was like, "You mean tell me the actuator don't come on the turbo?" "Oh no, the actuator's $1,800 more." Picked up the phone. "Hey man, send me an aftermarket. How much is it?" $3,800. Had the actuator and everything, so I could run like a sewing machine.
Yeah, the first truck I ever had, you could rebuild the whole engine for $3,500. Old style Cummins, the
350
cams.
That was the workhorse. Big cams and little.
Yeah.
And then I got to turn it on to a Caterpillar, and that was a wrap. I've been a yellow fan ever since. Even like the BXSs, everybody fusses about the BXS. "Oh, it ain't do this, it won't pull a heel." You can take a 6NZ ECM on it, swap 6 wires on it, and then you got a 6NZ pushing 60 pounds of boost pressure. It'll roll.
Well, I still even like the twin turbo cat. I had no problems. I mean, mine has 1 million miles on it.
And you can buy it cheaper than a single turbo.
Correct.
And I got 7 twin turbos now. I got 3 BXSs. I bought a 2005 BXS twin turbo. Fella hated it. Wouldn't pull the heel. Couldn't do nothing. Even $25,000 for a flat top. Just needed 2 front fenders on it. We fixed the fenders on it. I swapped ECM on it. I caught him about a month later. And when I went by, he called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, I'm going to Atlanta. What are you doing? I can't keep up with you. I told you had a good motor. You just didn't know what you're doing with it.
Scott's best piece of advice. Stay away.
Look, it's been good to us. It's been. We've been in it 4 years. You know, we went with 4 trucks, no trailers, nothing. We started this up with 4 trucks, and I think we've got 23 trucks or so leased. 23 trucks that we own.
7 owner
operators pulling under our authority. 2 more that pull for us, but they're not under our authority.
we had no trailers, and now we have 50 trailers, and every one of them is paid for, and 27 of them are 24s or 25, 24, 23, 24, and 25 models. And they're all, it's been very good to us, but I was lucky. I've been doing it for a larger company for a long time. We had a good customer base. We went from $80,000 our first 2 months for $40,000 a month for 2021 to last year was $9.6 million in revenue. And we don't have a salesperson. We don't have anything. It's just doing what we do. And I say it's been, now, could anybody else come do it? I don't know. Overhead way down, that's a big key. Overhead down, debt down. My biggest concern every week now is because it's kind of slow in our industry. We only haul furniture. I make sure everybody has a paycheck, as opposed to, our actual overhead on $10 million revenue, fixed overhead was pretty low. I mean, we have a big warehouse we got to rent because we're LTL. We got to add, but our truck payments, because we do have some new trucks now. Mm-hmm. Everything was paid for till we bought all new trucks.
Yeah, everything's paid for except for them trucks.
Mm-hmm. Right. We've been blessed. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. It's just sometimes, because this dummy right here called me one day and said, "I'm just going to business service. I'm trying to make other people rich. Let's do it ourselves." So every once in a while I got to call him up and thank him for making me rich. Pretty sure I still make less money, but I'm rich, I feel.
The biggest deal is just don't jump in head first. I mean, it's one deal. I got 3 drivers that's worked for me. The oldest one was with me for 8 years. He talked about buying a truck. So, hey, we're going to coach you into it. So I've had 3 drivers that work for me, and all 3 of them own their own trucks now. But they started off with a 2004 Pete. The other one bought a 2005 Kentworth. One of them's flatbed, and the other's hauling oil for Big 4. And the last one, he just bought him, and he went and bought a 22 579. That's like, I sent him pictures of this one, like $20,000 here, $15,000. He's massive. You're going to put some work into it. I said, but if anything goes wrong, I said, it's a whole lot easier to pay a $15,000 bill than go buy something that's $80,000 or $90,000 because you got to work regardless.
Right.
So he found him a 579 for a good price, and we kind of coach him in. I told him I'd help him get his feet, wet. Don't run off and go crazy, and that's the biggest deal. I've been in it since 2006. Me and my wife started one truck in 2006. We went up to 41. Then I kind of lost my mind for a little bit. We went back down to 25 to 30. Now we'll buy 1 or 2 here and there. I bought 2 Freightliners. I'm Peterbilt. First truck, the last truck was Peterbilt. But I bought 2 Freightliners because they had cats in them. The man wanted $5,000 for one with a 2WS and $2,000 for the other one with an MXS. Had to drive to Texas to get it. I was like, man, you're talking about a $12,000 motor. And it still runs. And so I brought both of them. I said, well, when Cummins go out, I'm going to put Caterpillars back in there. So I've accumulated some over the years, but I've never bought anything new. Everything's used. Right. Grandpa gave me my first truck, and I think we was at our 10th truck before I ever went to the bank and borrowed money. And that's because we started, climbing.
Right.
And right now, the 3 2019s is the only thing that bank's got. I just ordered 2 new milk trailers from Mac, LTE, tried them out, had light packages.
Those are pretty expensive.
120 grand a piece. And I got 29 trailers.
Are they refrigerated or this insulated?
Insulated.
Just insulated like an orange juice trailer, same thing?
Yep. Food grade. Big thermos bottles, all it is.
Okay.
All the ones I bought before, I get them from SEMO out of Prairieville, Missouri. They refurbished, and they 2004, 2005s, and I said, well, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna invest more in the trailers than I am the truck because I don't like the pack cars and the Cummins, just like the old NTCs and stuff like that. That was good motors. I said I'd just rather spend the money and fix the old stuff we got. I try to send one every year. We'll send it to the body shop, maybe go from front end to back end, paint it whatever color the driver wants. And I had Alan Fortenberry. He had one, and this fella keeps his truck clean year round. I told him, I'm going to paint it. It was white with purple fenders and purple top. He's like, I think I'm going to leave it white, and I'm going to do the legendary red and red. I said, oh, they look good. Went over to the paint shop to pick it up. It's 3 different colors of green. I was like, dude, what happened to the red and white? Well, I saw this color. I like it. I said, I don't care. He takes care of it. So, the drivers, they take care of it. And several of them, that's their goal. They kind of take a little tutelage, kind of share some insights with them, show them what they need to be doing. And,
right.
You know,
some of them are dying to own a truck, but we got guys making. We've got several guys making $130,000, $140,000 a year, and they're home 2-3 days a week and home on weekends. I'm like, and you want to go buy a truck somewhere? I'm like, you need to think about what you're doing, guy.
Because you'll be working on the weekends.
Oh yeah, working on weekends, and you're not going to find a lease like what brings the revenue per mile what we bring in, and it's like you're not going to find that, especially in today's world with broker freight. You better have some of your own freight right now. Tell anybody who doesn't have their own freight to stay out of the trucking right now because you got broke.
Well, take it slow, ease into it, learn.
Yeah, the more knowledge you get before you make the jump, the better you're going to be.
You followed that advice. I was speaking to Wes Oberman, seated at my right, who'd been quiet this go-round to now. His own story was indeed a test case in sitting back, learning the business, or as much about it as he possibly could, before deciding on a location in the country to base the business, moving there, and buying the first truck and optimizing his own one-truck operation before beginning to bring on other owner-operators in the mix. Though he came to ownership at a different time than the present, with a much better spot market when he started than what's commonly seen these last couple years with the load boards, he's at least proof that, unlike Scott Denmark warned, you don't necessarily have to have your own direct freight to get into the small fleet game with success. Wes Oberman's advice to aspiring owners was of a piece with his own experience, prepping for that big move.
Make sure you're prepared.
Yeah.
You're really prepared. I see too many owner-operators, because I would deal with owner-operators every single day. I see too many of them just go out and buy a truck. And they don't have their ducks in order. They spend their last penny on a truck, you know, and they got $2,000 left in the bank, and they're one breakdown away from going out of business already.
Yep.
And that happens with, I'd say, at least 75% of owner operators out there. And my advice is you need at least your biggest repair sitting in your bank account plus 6 months of living expenses before you could even think about buying a truck. And that's after you bought your truck and got your business up and running. Other than that, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I mean, can you make it? Yeah, you can if you're lucky. If you got that lucky truck.
Scott Denmark emphasized, too, that tried and true reality that a big settlement check isn't fundamentally a paycheck for the business owner.
You better take driver pay out of a settlement. And like you said, don't take nothing out. You better have some money to start off with. But people look at me as a driver like it's a damn paycheck. I'm like, that's it.
That is your business. That's not even your money. That's your business money.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I pay myself $1,000 a week.
Exactly.
That's what I live on. And anything else just stays in the business account.
Yeah.
I don't touch it.
It's a good approach. I mean, thinking about when you're first starting out as an owner-operator, it's like thinking about yourself as an expense for the business with the way
You're an employee.
With the way that you pay yourself.
Right.
Would be a way to kind of set you up to take the next step with the people that you're ultimately going to bring on if you're bringing on more trucks in the future.
You're talking about being an employee. When I started in 2006, I put myself on a salary, and I still got the same salary I had in 2006.
I still got my same one for 2009. $1,000 a week. That's it.
Yeah, we started with nothing.
We didn't draw nothing for 6 months.
Yeah.
The deal we was in, I borrowed money from my grandpa. Basically, it packed my fuel for a month because the company I started out with running out over the road. Basically, they bill from the 1st to the 15th. You bill it on the 20th, where you get paid on the 15th, so you're 45 days behind. So he packed my bill for the first 45 days on my fuel, and as soon as I got my first check in, I paid him off, and we ain't slacked up since. Then it was been employee ever since.
It's notable that all of the champs here approach their own compensation that way. For a one-truck carrier paying himself a salary, we'll also have the fringe benefit of making it fairly simple to use our load profit analyzer to the full extent to compare loads, that's sure. Find it at overdriveonline.com/load-analyzer. Regular listeners will recall the cost inputs there include potential for salary figures to be calculated on the business expense side of the profit calculation, along with other fixed costs and those variable costs like fuel, maintenance, and tires. In any case, that's a wrap on this roundtable with our 4 Small Fleet Champ finalists at competition sponsor NASTIC's annual conference a couple weeks back. Congrats to all 4 of them. Again, Clifford Hay of Clifford Hay Incorporated,
Cobleskill, New York, the two Scotts, Denmark and Cruthis, Thomasville Funiture Xpress, Thomasville, North Carolina, Robbie Turnage of Turnage Sons, LLC, hauling milk out of Tylertown, Mississippi, and Wes Oberman, Oberman Logistics, building a home for other owner-operators, leasing on with him and his wife, Laura, out of Huntington, Tennessee. To finish us off, here's Scott Denmark and Wes Oberman from the stage, accepting the title belts in each respective category. Though again, margins were tight, and all four of these are truly heavyweight trucking champs, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's beautiful to have this. It's an award that we didn't even know we were up for, to be honest with you. So, thank you to everybody that's made this part of us for our team. Our team's made it. We're just two team leaders, and it's definitely our office manager, Stacy, and our warehouse manager, Tim, and they make it happen. We could be here for a couple of days and be gone because, as you know, we met earlier today. It's like it's nice to walk out of the office for a day or two, and they make it happen. Thank y'all. Thank everybody.
Overdrive's 2025 Small Fleet Champion, the 3 to 10 truck division is Oberman Logistics.
I didn't think I was going to win, so I don't have a speech prepared. But I would like to thank NASTEC. We've been with NASTEC since day one of our business. Their fuel card that they offer is second to none. I'd also like to thank their insurance department. We mostly work with Mike Jordan and Sherry, and without them, I don't even think we'd be around at this point. Also Stacy and Precast, she's helped us a lot as well. And my wife, she can't be here, but she does a lot of the work. Well, thank you.
Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker-songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhofer. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhofer, featuring the guitar work of Travis, the Snake Man himself, Whammick, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own social media coordinator, Jasmine Campbell, senior editor Matt Cole, executive editor Alex Lockie, and video editors Lawson Rudisell and Andrew Glenn. We'll see you next time.